My name is Ford Suze. I'm 36 years old, and I'm starting over. My previous adventure was outward, living my dream of discovering India and sharing it with the world. But this new adventure is inward, facing my lifelong struggle with depression and finding renewed purpose. Join me on this new journey of self-discovery and personal reinvention, building a better me.
HGTV be like, I sharpened colored pencils and my wife works 1 hour a month collecting butterflies and our budget is 1.8 million.
So how does it feel being almost 40 and living with my parents?
I'd rather my budget be $1.8 million. And I only spend an hour a month collecting butterflies. I've never really wanted to collect them, but I'd do it. It feels defeating and frustrating. If today I was to go out, meet a girl, and she was 37 years old, and lived with her in-laws, didn't make much money, I would judge her. I would judge her. People have got to be judging me. So I don't know if I'm my own harshest critic, but I begrudge myself my place in life right now.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. I think that's what's been hard about this last 2 years. I think we feel better. I mean, at least we have a path forward. Mm-hmm. I think one of the most difficult things is just not feeling a path forward. Found this really great video today, thanks to Will Terrian for sharing it on Facebook. And this guy is saying something that I've been feeling but haven't been able to express. Most people have said, 40 should take medicine, and I've tried taking medicine, and it did not work for me. What this guy says in this video, I highly recommend watching the whole thing, but he says that the best antidepressant is admitting that there's a problem, and that maybe there is a practical, physical, real-world solution, out here that can help the chemical problem. It's almost just like this weird form of alchemy or something like that. There's something you can't see that if we just tinker with this substance, that'll make everything better. But like, there's a reason why we're depressed. It's not like I had the same chemical problem when I was in India. I wasn't taking medicine, but we were making it work. So stuff has happened. I mean, there's reasons behind this. For a lot of people, there are reasons. There's something happened.
So it is interesting with mental health. Like, right, there is definitely a chemical thing, but sometimes it's just an emotional life happened thing. So I would say for Ford, like, I feel like he's always had a chemical mental health thing, probably his whole life. Like, for me, I have always thought of myself as a very balanced, healthy, mentally healthy person. But this past year and a half has been super hard for me. Building a better me and looking at things like, I think it's for those who are chemically imbalanced and for those who are not. Like, for me, I don't think that I'm chemically imbalanced. I think I'm just depressed because, like, my dream shattered and I had to grieve that.
As far as the path forward, we've really been trying to figure that out, what it looks like. And this week was kind of a culmination of things I've been thinking about for years. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I have a better trajectory, a better idea of what my role should be in building a better me. Well, I don't think there's a magic set of steps that will help anybody, or a magic number of steps. For me, it's 5 things I want to focus on in 2018. So I'm going to be talking about those today, and we will be revisiting these, kind of giving progress reports on these as we go throughout the year. And some, especially in the initial stages, I've been just trying to figure out my way in these first couple of months. I've had at least 1 or 2 of these ideas, building a better me in body, and in mental health, and some of the other things I knew were part of the equation, whether it's trying to learn coding, stimulate my mind, and try to get a better business trajectory. But I haven't really had a way to articulate all those things at once. So this is a step towards that, and then from here on out have a more structured view of what my plan is going to look like.
So when we were in India, we had to take a trip to Nepal one time for a visa renewal. So while we were there, we did get this great news.
Can I tell it?
Sure.
Mommy's pregnant!
Surprise! Is she asleep on our bed?
She's asleep on our bed, yes.
Satya's Goldilocks. She's Goldilocks in real life. She'll fall asleep on Rohan's bed,
Mom's bed?
her Kiki's bed, our bed, any bed but her own.
So yeah, look how happy-go-lucky Satya is in this clip. And now look at her here. I just knocked over my earphones.
Hey, Satya, time to get up. Come on, you're in our bed. Quit being a little punk. Hey, my shirt. Oh, you love me. Yeah, get up.
Hey, you're in our bed.
You're in our bed.
Why are you sleeping
Look at
in
that
my
face.
bed?
Look at that face.
It's constant. Like, it's not just because she's sleeping. It's just this constant face, the constant scowl. She's inherited it from the teenage version of her dad. So, stop stereotyping you.
Well, if the boot
Fits. When we were in Nepal, sitting at this restaurant, in fact, and Satya, I'm pretty sure it was the time with the dogs.
My favorite thing about Pokhara, though, is Mike's restaurant for sure. It is spoken like a true nauseous, pregnant American lady.
And I'm pretty sure it was at that table at that moment. She was like, she doesn't let us have the polo sometimes.
And she won't let us have our polo sometimes.
Okay, those are like the Indian version of mint lifesavers.
I was looking at a salt shaker, and I had this revelation. Because the salt shaker wasn't like this one. It didn't have 18 holes. It only had 5 or 6. I think it had 6. And I was like, I need to have only 5 things into which I channel all my energy. So there's wise words from 2012, because Rohan wasn't even born yet. So here I am, almost 6 years later, trying to apply that. I was pacing around outside my sister-in-law's house up in Alabama when we were visiting them this weekend. And I looked down at my hand and I was like, okay, what are the things that I need to do? Number 1, simple violin. A new video curriculum for my violin students. Because teaching them in the old school ways that I learned when I was a kid is not working. So I've started using video. Violin has been an instrumental part of my life. I've been playing since I was 7 years old. And so when a local school said that they were interested in starting a violin program for 5th graders, I thought that might be a good fit. The first couple months here, I did not think it was a good fit. I had taught before. I taught high school, and I was not good at it. I just was bad, actually. A bit later than that, I ended up teaching 5th grade at a different school, and I did a little better, but I still wasn't there. The 5th grade went a lot better than the high school did, but I still had a lot to learn in my life. Almost 10 years later, actually more than 10 years later, I'm back in the classroom, and this year had a rocky start. I didn't do so great at the beginning, but I've kind of gotten into rhythm, and I've realized that with my video stuff, maybe I could make these things married together, my video, my violin, and teaching, and try to make something new with it. Actually, it was a viewer of the channel, a longtime supporter of the channel, the Indian dude. He had suggested maybe I should make some video-based violin curriculum. And we started using rudimentary video-based violin curriculum here at school, and it's actually really working wonders. The kids are actually benefiting from it. More helpful than a lot of the stuff that I've tried to teach them, but for some reason, if I'm in video doing it, like they sit and watch it more. We're doing that on YouTube. I've created a new channel called Simple Violin. So that is the first component of Building a Better Me in 2018, is realizing there is a gap on the internet of good violin teaching. And also, I've noticed, I hear this a lot, from old people. Old people be like, well, back in my day, we didn't have blah, blah, blah. And, kids these days, they just don't understand what's going on. But I'll tell you right now, in 10 years, I have noticed a profound difference between the 5th graders 10 years ago and now. It's big. The difference is big. Kids are much more ADD than they ever have been before. Every kid is. And I think a lot of it has to do with these phones. So if you're going to keep their attention, you have to find a way to use media to do it. I'm starting to be convinced of that. And so the video thing is actually helping, and it's something I hope to use with my private violin lessons as well. So that has been the first component, is incorporating violin and my video, something that can hopefully be useful and hopefully something that can turn into a bigger chunk of my occupation. Number 2, local video projects for clients. So like commercials. So we're going to be starting this weekend with my buddy Caleb, who I used to work for at Lagoon Pontoons. Got a GoPro drone. We're going to start testing it out this week. Number 3, YouTube relational media marketing. That's what we're trying to figure out this year.
And we're doing a great job right now. Actually, we're trying to make this as relational as possible, as one-to-one as possible, and that's why the views are going down. This is orchestrated, okay? This is anti-SEO. We want you to be here because you want to be here, and you're actually getting something out of this whole experiment. The relational media marketing is for Building a Better Me, the feature film, which we will be releasing at the end of the year. And now you're seeing all the crazy process of how that's going to come together. And then Building a Better Me, the documentary, is about building a better me, literally. In a typical Ford fashion, that fifth part has 5 subparts. So what does building a better me look like? Building a better me in mind, body, soul, family, and money. So over the course of the next month or so, I'll be elaborating on what those things entail. The mind part is my attempt to learn better coding and to start actually putting my writing out into the world. So that'll be on the website that I've already started, tsvbabm.com. And there'll be some more of that coming later. I'm not quite ready for it, but I'm writing a lot. I've been writing a ton. Body, that comes the breath, balance, and bravery stuff, the working out thing. And you know, I think a lot of the problem has been for me is not getting both of those at the same time. I'll do one and I'll neglect the other. And so now I'm trying to write, do music and stuff, and go running. You know, I'm trying to get both of those things. And the running is coming along thanks to Henry's tutelage. I got to 1.4 miles today at an 8-minute pace, which is further than I've gotten. My legs are hurting. What do I do about that? My legs hurt. Soul is all about dealing with the mental health stuff, dealing about emotional issues and all that stuff. I'll be reading some books about that. We do have Jordan Peterson's self-authoring program that we purchased a while back. I want to go through that this year. Family, this comes in, you know, this whole Building a Better Me thing kicked off with kind of telling some of my dad's story and diving more into that. And so by the time we get the feature film done, there's going to be some more of his history and more of trying to figure out, like, I'm spending a lot of time with Dad, but it's just not really filmish stuff. It's just us reading together and, you know, hanging out. But I want to find some way to incorporate him in the filming process. So that's part of it. And then also hanging out with Mom a little more. For me, Melissa, Satya, and Rohan, we want to launch back into doing the mini adventures that made our experience of India so much better. And, you know, we just haven't felt at home here a lot of times. So we're trying to just get back in the community and do some more stuff. Me and Melissa got to go to play tonight. We'd gotten to go to a Chamber of Commerce event earlier this week, which led to coming to this play because Jason, professor at Gulf Coast State College, gave us some tickets tonight. So that was cool. Trying to do more of that kind of stuff and actually documenting it more as time goes on. Mini adventures. And finally, money. I've never been good at making money. Looking into managing my money better, making better business decisions, and especially in the video production side for local video clients. So that's one of the areas there. I'm trying to find a way to make this violin video curriculum not only make money, but also save my students money. Because violin lessons are expensive and they are proving not to be as valuable, again, as I said, as they used to be. So trying to find a way to kind of hit all these things. That's what my Building a Better Me plan is looking like. That's my salt shaker approach that's supposed to only have 5 elements. Oh, and when I was on my little walk in Alabama, I was like, oh, those are 5 things. That way I can look at my hand and remember, what am I supposed to be working on? Because I'm an idiot. And if some shiny idea comes up in front of me, I'll be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do 18 things tomorrow. And I will do 18 things tomorrow. And then the next day, I will do negative 18 things because I'll run out of energy. I'll go into a black hole. So trying to keep it simple, be able to look at my hand and say, I should be working on violin. That's right. I should work on what I'm going to be teaching my kids. Right. I was like, oh, and then I'll be working. I've got that video for Caleb to do. Right. Yeah, idiot. Oh, then I can do the YouTube. Yes, then I can do the YouTube. And then, oh, I have a feature film I'm making this year. That's real easy. And then, that's right, I'm building a better me. I don't need to fix YouTube. I don't need to fix the world. So that's the general idea. Kind of want to have these categories in mind as we move forward. So that's the gist of it. Until next time, keep it creative, keep it cross-cultural, keep it constructive, and keep it consistent. Stay strong, stay glorious. Hang on if you can hang on. Keep going until you can. Thank you.